That's tough. My favorite tattoo? Probably the portrait of my wife. Who do I enjoy cooking with the most? I love cooking with my family. You know, there's something very special about that. The pressure is not quite the same as cooking in the restaurant. It's more enjoyable and relaxing. And also it just feels more sort of soul nourishing. I love cooking with my team at my restaurant, but there's something very special about cooking a meal with my entire family. My guilty pleasure is probably these country store snacks. You know, the ones with the cracklins and the candied pecans at the little country store that you find accidentally along the highway. Those snacks are my guilty pleasure. It's not often, but when I see them, I can't resist them. I'm a rock and roll guy, so any rock and roll, especially really classic stuff. Rolling Stones, very motivating to me. There was an era that I loved cooking to, the music of Soundgarden and Pearl Jam and that whole 90s era, so it's very nostalgic for me, and I still love cooking to that music. If I could invite any 3 people to dinner, so I think I would have to invite Marco Pierre White, because he was one of the original sort of bad boy chefs who inspired me. Chris Cornell, because he was my favorite recording artist, someone who inspired me over the years. And then maybe like my grandma. I think that would make for an interesting dinner party. And also these are 3 people who have been incredibly inspiring to me. You know, I have to say the worst food trend, I think, is or was this, you know, sort of farm-to-table label. Not that it's a bad practice, I think it's a good practice and a good standard, but when we saw it become a trend and become inauthentic, then I took issue with that. I thought that was a very bad trend. Good standard, bad trend. So one of my favorite kitchen hacks involves cellophane. I think cellophane has so many great uses, hacks in the kitchen. You can take cellophane and tear it into long strips and make rope out of it to tie things together in the kitchen. But my favorite thing is when you have a liquid or puree, you need to get it into a very small squeeze bottle. If you just pour it on a piece of cellophane, pull the corners up and poke a hole in it, you can gently squeeze it into the tiniest squeeze bottle without a funnel. I've used that kitchen hack for 20 years, and I teach it to the young cooks, and they just can't believe that they didn't think of it. You know, I was a musician before I was a chef, and so I would love to be a touring musician. If I wasn't a chef, that would be pretty amazing. The other thing that fascinates me is crime investigation, and so I would love to investigate crimes. You know, this has changed over the years. My advice now to young chefs coming in to the field is don't forget to take care of yourself. A lot of my generation forgot to take care of ourselves and you know, hit a wall or had some health issues along the way. This can be a very physical and physically and mentally exhausting way to make a living. It can also be very gratifying, but just don't forget that self-care. You know, you take care of other people all day, don't forget to take care of yourself. I'm in love with this cookie butter ice cream right now. It's Trader Joe's cookie butter ice cream. It's so ridiculously good that I think it should be illegal.